All right. We are so excited. We have a wonderful time here tonight. And I'll tell you, 9 at Night is every weekday night, and it has the best topics, the best people. We're talking international or national and some international. And it's something where this is a place you need to be. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Tonight, it's all about the business. And we're talking the business of network marketing. That's the home-based business, your backup plan, just in case things don't go right with with whatever's going on in the world, right? So that's why you want to be here. We have incredible guests tonight. I'm so excited. We're gonna go ahead and kick off with our first gentleman. This guy is the kind of one guy that you want to listen to. They both are, but this one is Richard Bruff is a CPA, and that's what's most important. Okay, so with him, he's a CPA. He graduated from cum laude with a Bachelor of Arts degree in accounting with a minors in business administration and get it, Mandarin Chinese. That's heavy load there. He has spent over 35 years helping small and home-based business owners increase their profits while helping them save on taxes. And most of those years were also spent as a financial auditor, which provides Richard with a thorough understanding of how an auditor thinks. I mean, this is the guy you really want to pay attention to, ask questions with, and get the direct answers. Okay, he now applies his knowledge on every tax return he prepares, and outside of tax season, Richard travels the country presenting workshops specifically for the home-based business owner. And that's exciting, okay, because we have it right from the source how to do this right. And he's been listed on publications such as the National Dean's List, America's Registry of Outstanding Professionals, Montclair Who's Who's among executives and professionals, and International Who's Who's of entrepreneurs. So with that, I'm so excited to introduce you to Richard Bruff, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Christine. And thank you for that introduction. And thank you for providing this platform that we have a lot of fun every night of the week, every weeknight. Lots of great information, lots of education. You're doing a great service. I appreciate that.
Oh, you bet. And I'm excited. I'm going to turn it over to you because I know you have some great information and tips that we need to listen to.
Okay, great. So yeah, I'm going to talk taxes, of course, again tonight, and maybe some theory behind taxes. Before I get into that, let me give you my disclaimer. Okay, what I'm going to be talking about is not meant for any specific advice for any specific person. Okay, find yourself a good, competent tax person that knows the industry of direct sales. Okay, there's a little quirky things about direct sales that you need to know about. And the reason I say that is a lot of these things may or may not apply to you. You might think they apply to you and they don't, or maybe they don't apply to you and they think that they will. So get yourself a good person that can help you walk through that. Now, the reason I am talking taxes, though, is up to a third, or it can be more than a third of your profits from your business can go into taxes. So it might be important at least to have a basic understanding about it. And a lot of people say, oh, I'm nowhere near in that high of a tax bracket. Well, I'm talking that's a low tax bracket, okay? Because let's say you're in the 12% tax bracket for federal income taxes. When you have a profit in your business, you also have to pay what's called self-employment tax, which is really Social Security, Medicare for people who are self-employed, because you don't have an employer withholding it from you, right? So you have to pay it in. So there's another roughly 15%. And then your state is probably going to be, 4 or 5, 6%. You add those all together, even at low tax brackets, you're still paying a third of your profits into taxes. So it might be a good idea to know some of this stuff. Also, there's different entities that you can be taxed as. There's the main ones are sole proprietor. As you mature, get a little bit more successful in your business later on, you may want that tax as what's called an S corporation. And when I'm talking on this broadcast here, I will be talking about the rules of a sole proprietor. That's where most people are. So if you're an S corporation or a different type of entity, just be aware I'm talking about sole proprietors. The most confusing entity is what's called the LLC. Now, an LLC is invisible to the IRS. Okay, it has nothing to do with taxes. So the default is if you're a single member LLC or one owner, you're going to be taxed as a sole proprietor. Or you can fill out a form, send it to the IRS, tell them you want to be taxed as another entity, such as an S corporation. So don't let LLCs confuse you. As far as the IRS is concerned, you're a corporation, a partnership, or a sole proprietor. whatever that LLC is taxed as. So let me kind of talk about the rules for what's deductible expenses, business expenses. The IRS says if it's ordinary and necessary in your business, then it's going to be tax deductible. And I like to say probably at least partially tax deductible, because of course, with taxes, especially, there's always the exception to the rule. So what is ordinary and necessary? Well, I like to replace that with helpful. Is it helpful to run my business? If so, it's probably at least partially deductible. And so, everybody, they kind of want a laundry list of things that they can deduct on their tax return. Well, that laundry list would be pages and pages long, and some may or may not apply to you. So just, do I use this in my business? Is it helpful in my business? Okay, talk it over with your, give it to your competent tax professional, and they'll help you out with that. I'm going to take just a couple of minutes and go over some of the more common ones, because home-based businesses are great from a tax standpoint. Okay, a lot of money that you're spending right now can actually be turned into tax deductible business expenses, business deductions. Okay, everybody, in my opinion, everybody should look at being into getting some sort of a home-based business just for the tax benefits of it. And of course, you got to try to make a profit on it. I mean, you want to make lots of money, but you do want to minimize your taxes. And so an example of some of the items you might be able to deduct is your cell phone. Is it helpful to have a cell phone in your business? Yeah. Okay, then it's probably at least partially deductible. Okay, at least a percentage of it. Your vehicles. A lot of us drive vehicles in our business, then they're going to be deductible. And there's two ways you can deduct your vehicle. You can take what's called the standard mileage rate, which this year it's 58.5 cents a mile. So every business mile you put on your vehicle, you can take a 58.5 cent deduction for it. That includes your gas, your wipers, blades, your oil changes, all those wear and tear type things, and normal operating costs for your vehicles, all kind of balled up in that 58.5 cents a mile. Now you can also take the actual expenses, okay? Keep your total mileage, your business mileage, and whatever your business mileage represents as a percentage of total mileage, you can deduct that. Then keep track of your gas and all those wear and tear maintenance expenses. Now, which one should you use? It depends on your vehicle. If you have a more expensive vehicle that does not get maybe the best gas mileage, it's being repaired quite a bit, then you're probably going to be able to take the actual expenses rather than the standard mileage rate. Again, talk to your tax professional and see which one is best in your case, depending on your vehicle. Another thing you can deduct is travel expenses. If the primary purpose, now everybody write that down, primary purpose. Okay, the main objective for doing something needs to be for your business. But if the main reason you go somewhere, travel somewhere is for your business, then you can write that off. Your airfare, your mileage, your lodging, your food, all that can be tax deductible expenses if the primary purpose is for business. And that's one thing I like about the direct sales or home-based businesses is with a little bit of foresight, a little bit of planning, quite a few places, almost every place that we go, can have a primary purpose for business. Plus, at the same time, it helps you build your business to be more successful. And that's what we want, right? I mentioned business meals with the travel. Now, there's two types of meals that are actually deductible. One type of meal would be a local meal. Maybe you go out with a prospective customer or with an associate and do some brainstorming on ways to market your business. So you go out to dinner, you talk about business, that dinner is going to be tax deductible. Now, you've got to properly document it. The IRS wants to know who you met with and what you talked about, what made it a business meal, but that would be deductible. Now, also in your travel meals, if you're gone somewhere out of town overnight, then that meal is deductible just because it's a travel meal. You don't have to talk business or anything. A lot of times when I'm out of town, I may be traveling and eating by myself. That's still deductible. And on those, you can even take, again, a per diem, kind of like the standard mileage rate with vehicles. The IRS will allow you a certain a dollar amount for your meals when you're out of town overnight. And that dollar amount is going to change depending on what location you're at, but it's roughly, $60 a day for meals, which for me, that's a pretty good deduction. Now, all meals, just so you know, all meals are only half deductible. So if you spend $60 for a day on meals, only 30 of it will be deductible, but it can still add up. One of my favorite deductions for those that qualify for it are your children. If you have children under the age of 18 that work in your business, you can pay them a wage. They're not subject to payroll taxes such as Social Security, Medicare, and they can make almost $13,000 before they have to pay any taxes. So therefore, it's tax deductible to you. It's tax-free to them. And the best part of that is teaching them financial literacy, teach them how to manage their money. And there's a lot of things your children can do for you. I have clients that some of their children manage their social media, the different social media platforms. I have one that she hired her child to babysit for their prospects. Let's come over to our house. We'll have a meeting. We're a family organization. Bring your children so you don't have to find babysitters. And so there's some good things. It's got to be legitimate business reasons that you're paying them. That can be a great deduction. Another deduction for those that qualify for it is the home office deduction, or the business use of your home. And as what that says, if there's an area in your home that's used exclusively for business. Now, the IRS takes that exclusive part pretty seriously. It can't be the coffee table in your family room. It can't be the dining room table. It's got to be an area that's used exclusively for business. But at the same time, it does not have to have four walls. I have a client, for example, that they have a very large master bedroom. If you're to walk in their bedroom, you look over in the corner and there's a desk. There's even a partition there. Their fax machine is there, their computer. It's visually identifiable as their office, and it's used exclusively for the business. So that counts. And again, I'm going to keep this fairly short. I just want to kind of help people with the theory that if it's ordinary, necessary, or useful, helpful in their business, it's probably going to be deductible. The main thing you need to do, though, probably more important than all of that, is you got to have a bookkeeping system. Okay, it doesn't matter if you know what's deductible if it doesn't make it on your tax return. And it's not going to make it on your tax return without some sort of a bookkeeping system. Okay, and you got to also have proper documentation. As Christine mentioned in the introduction, I'm also an auditor. I'm not for the IRS, kind of the opposite. I audit governmental entities and utility companies, but I understand the importance of documentation. So as an auditor, I'm afraid I don't believe a word you tell me. I'm not saying you're dishonest. That's not my job. My job is to not believe or disbelieve. My job is to verify. And so the main thing with your taxes, making sure you get all your deductions and they stay in your tax return, is having good bookkeeping and good documentation. And it's cheap. There are some good apps out there that link to your bank accounts to make sure you're getting all your deductions. They can link your deductions with pictures of the receipts. They'll track your mileage for you using the GPS unit in your phone. And they're not that expensive. Most of them, under $100 a year. And guess what? It's tax deductible, right? It's going to be helpful to run your business if you have a good bookkeeping and documentation system. So, Christine, that's all I'm going to talk about for tonight. But I do invite people to reach out to you. They can get my information. If they have any questions, feel free to email me, and I can get with them and give them a little bit of help.
Okay, excellent. That's absolutely excellent. In fact, everybody that had just started in a business or thinking about it, if we don't have an accountant with us to help us guide us, major mistakes, major expense too, just with that. So I was going to ask you, Richard, and then we have another guest we're going to bring on, and then we'll all chat about this together. But you specifically advise many different home-based businesses all around the country because they need your information and your guidance, especially being a forensic auditor, CPA. You definitely know what they need to do. So with that, I know that with the times, especially, things seem, not quite as stable with the economy and things like that. So do you have a general overall, besides everyone should have a home-based business, or anything you'd like to share?
And you bring up a good point there. With inflation running at, what do they say now, 7.5% or more? Okay. Not very many of us are going to get a 7.5% raise in our W-2 paychecks. Okay. So not only from the standpoint of tax deductions, that's great, but people genuinely need to have some sort of multiple streams of income. It's something they have control over. It's pretty tough to ask your boss for more overtime. Okay. It's pretty tough to find another job, but if you can find something that you enjoy doing, um, so I'll advise people, look at your hobbies. What do you enjoy doing? Okay. And is there a way you can turn that into a business? Now,
Okay.
one thing I like specifically about the direct sales industry, though, is a lot of it's like business in a box.
Mhm.
It's all done for you, and it's very cost effective or inexpensive to get started that way. So that's why I do recommend the direct sales industry.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, this night is all about those considering maybe if you haven't, this is a good time to learn bits and pieces, and we're on every Monday night. So right now we're going to go ahead and thank you so much, Richard. We're going to go ahead and meet our next guest so that we can this is Richard Ruff's information. The best way to get a hold of him is to email him at richard.bruff.cpa@gmail.com. And he's so busy. This is definitely the way to get a hold of him, and he'll get back with you just as soon as he can. But he's definitely the home business tax services guy to go to. And so with that, I want to make mention with the Network Marketing Magazine, we usually have George Madu on here, but this is an international magazine, and it has like over 100 different countries that it's in. And you can actually put it into different languages. So I think that's way cool. He has it, you just click a touch of a button and it's like 100 languages or that he has. He's just amazing. And so this is something that you can really get all kinds of articles with that. George will be back next week. He's the CEO and founder of the Network Magazine. And you can just reach him. The magazine website is the networkmarketingmagazine.com. And it's just George at Network Marketing Magazine. We also are going to have a lot of authors on here. So we'll be displaying some excellent books that you can read with it. I have a short commercial on one of them, and we'll be right back. All right. So yes, Newbie 101 is one of them. And we are going to definitely be having a source. Everybody can get these books and get them autographed even. So our next gentleman is going to definitely let you know how you can go to the extra step in education and getting autographed books by the author themselves. This gentleman is Ron Wilder. He's a network marketing advocate, published author, architect of various online MLM training programs, mastermind behind the Simple Connector. That's a CRM mobile app, and creator of the MLM masteryclub.com. And so Ron's books, they help to make people's lives better by distilling the essence of complex topics, an easy way to understand. And he especially enjoys helping network marketers find their whys. And there's just so much when it comes to making a positive difference with everybody in this. He's a retired professional engineer. Okay. And thanks to network marketing, he's been able to do this full time. He also believes in technology and automation should simplify rather than complicate people's lives. So I'm so excited to introduce Ron, and thanks for being here.
Hey, oops, flipped it the wrong way. Okay, so much for technology, right?
Yeah, that's all right.
So, yeah, thank you very much, Christine. Yeah, I'm a retired professional engineer. It's funny, I never thought I'd ever hear myself say that. I never thought I would retire from engineering because I love it so much, right?
Yeah.
But network marketing did that to me. So what can I say? You know.
Well, excellent. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this over to you so you can take the entire floor here and kind of share with us a little bit about what you're doing and the importance of why it's important to be involved. And then we're going to all come on and just have some really great discussions. Okay.
Great. So thank you very much, Christine. And I was thinking, well, what am I going to talk about tonight? So I thought, well, I'll just go. I have a book I wrote, and who hasn't, right? And the first section in it deals with people-centered businesses versus product-centered businesses. And, when you get into network marketing, the first thing they typically do is they teach you all about the products, don't they? And they tell you about how to sell them, how to teach other people how to sell them, and so forth. So I have a question. Would you rather have a business that is about buying and selling products and teaching other people to do the same thing, okay? Or would you rather have a business where you prospect people who want to up-level their lives, okay, while they still buy products, right, from their businesses, but they teach people how to do the same thing, to look for people who are trying to up-level their lives. So those are two choices, really. So let's kind of get into the language so you can kind of see the differences of the two. I'm just going to read from the book here. So think of these questions and think of whether or not you've actually said these things or not as you build your business. Do you share the products? Do you hold group product demonstration classes? Do you do home parties to introduce the products? You push corporate BOGOs, which are buy one, get one free type deals? Do you offer your own end-of-month BOGOs and specials? Do you focus on monthly product sales rather than rank? Do you focus on selling products rather than focusing on adding distributors? In other words, are you looking for salespeople, right? Do you hold make and take classes? A lot of people do that kind of thing. Do you do farmers markets and street fairs and health fairs and things like that? Do you sell your personalized adaptations of products? Do you use tech tools to determine prospects' product needs? They have these little testers and stuff, right? You spend time memorizing product uses, building product selling websites. Do you recommend products for ailments? Of course, that gets into challenges with the FDA, doesn't it? Are you like the product expert in your community? Do you become like, do you have typically big empty front lines in your organizations as you're trying to populate things? Do you have that icky feeling when you're trying to convert a product buyer into kind of a product seller, right? And do you typically have smaller monthly bonus checks, maybe tens to hundreds of dollars a month? Do you see a pattern here? Okay, all of these questions revolve around products. Okay, they're all product centered. So now I'm going to read you some questions that are a little bit different. Okay, contrast this with people centered. Okay, so do you have one-on-one meetings rather than large group meetings? Okay, do you like going out and making friends? Do you learn social styles to better relate to people? Do you talk about dream building types of things? Do you talk about possibilities in their lives? Are you creating like a plan to give them clear paths for how to improve their futures? Are you helping people develop confidence? Do you ask more personal financial questions to give more effective answers? Do you build lifestyle websites? Do you discuss how to make money with a compensation plan? Do you create a network of builders? And are you getting nice big checks every month? Okay? Think about that, okay? These questions tend to be one-on-one. They tend to be more personal. They are relationship type questions, okay? And so what's important is that you're trying to help them get clear on why they're really doing this business. Maybe they're not. Maybe they start off just buying products as most people tend to do in this business, from their friends. And then their friends convince them to go into sales and start selling this to their friends and stuff. But what if you could change things a little bit, okay? What I would say is this. It's actually easier to do people-centered prospecting, okay? First of all, you don't have to learn all the products, okay? Think about all the different products that you have in your company. And some MLMs are very simple, but some can be very complex, right? You don't have to violate any FDA type things by making, like prescriptions for people of what this to mix with that, right? You don't have to say things that basically are outside of the law, right? Because you have to be careful with what you say. You represent your company, so you can get them in trouble too. So you just have to be more careful, right? It tends to create better relationships and long-term business partners, okay? And of course, that elusive passive income. Because if every month all you're doing is selling products, then really what have you done but just kind of create another job, right? You've created another job for yourself. You've just moved from one job to another. But if you build up relationships with people who start doing things for their own reasons, then what happens is over time, your workload gets less and less and less, to the point where you could be spending an hour or two a month, okay, and be bringing in really good money because you're tapping into some of the bigger bonuses because it's about the network. People in network marketing, they call it network marketing because it's about the network. It's not so much about product sales. So another bonus, if you think about it, is that network marketers that are business builders, they also buy the products anyway. So a nice bonus is that you never have to convince them, well, you got to buy your products this month. Because if you don't buy the products, they're not going to get the bonus, and they want their bonus, right? So it's much, much easier than calling up a customer saying, sure you don't need an extra bottle of this or tube of that or whatever it might be, okay? Here's a fun thing. I'm a diamond in my company, and we go on these incentive trips every so often, and one of the trips I did a little survey, a little personal survey, and I was talking to them one-on-one. I said, hey, look, what do you teach your people to build your business? Because clearly they made the diamond, so they're doing something right? And most of them say, oh, they teach the products, okay? They teach about how to buy products, how to sell products, how the products work, okay? And why is that, right? Well, it's what they learn from the companies, right? It's what they learn from their upline. And I said, tell me honestly, what do you personally do to build your business? And it's almost like you could see their whole mind, their whole attitude shift. It was almost like, don't tell anybody about this, right? But it was basically this. They did one-on-one conversations with people to find people who would be a good fit to be a business builder in an organization, okay? Every one of them. I said, why? They said, well, it's more effective. You can find people who are really looking for something that's going to be a change in their lives, and they'll be around longer. So then I asked them, why don't you teach what you do? And there's this pregnant pause, right? Well, I don't know. I think it's just easier to talk about the products. The truth is it's not. Okay, it's actually easier to talk about the business building stuff. Because here's a cool thing. Did you know that network marketing companies kind of come and go, right? I mean, there's thousands of them, in existence, and I think something like 500 or 1,000 of them come every year, and and 500 or 1,000 of them disappear the same year, right? It's different companies constantly doing business, coming and going. So would you rather spend all your time learning about the products and have a company kind of disappear on you? If you were to go to another company, wouldn't you rather take a skill set of learning how to prospect for people, which is universal, rather than learning how to sell products that you're not going to be selling anymore? So I'm not saying that your company is going to go out of business, but I'm an engineer, right? I like to prepare for things. I'm an Eagle Scout, right? My whole Boy Scout motto was be prepared. And so I never always wanted to put all of my stuff in one basket. And so, I've learned, spread it around a little bit. Learn things that are universal, that will work with anybody. Okay? So that's kind of the main topic of chapter 2 from my book, Beyond the Products. I want to give you a couple of things to think about. Start thinking about the questions you ask people. Okay? Are they product-centric or are they people-centric? Can you start shifting some of your questions to people rather than products? And again, we didn't get into a lot of details tonight about how to do all these different things. But my point is I wanted you to think about this. Because if you focus on people, they're going to be around for the long haul. Some of my best friends in the world are from my network marketing business that I didn't know when I started. And I guarantee you, for your business, as you build it, you're going to meet people right now who will become your best friends. You don't even know them yet, okay? You don't even know them yet. But they will become your best friends. And I guarantee you, anybody, Christine and Richard will both 100% agree that the people you meet in this business become lifelong friends. And the last thing I want you to do is practice. Practice on some people, okay? If you want to find out more, you can always pick up my book, Beyond the Products. You can get it on Amazon or you can get it through my website, mlmmasteryclub.com. So thank you very much, Christine, for this chance to share a little bit.
You are just absolutely amazing, and you just gave me a wonderful idea. Here is Ron's, an excellent input. Here is Ron's mlmmasteryclub.com. And then you can reach him at ron@mlmmasteryclub.com. And the book is Beyond the Products. And I have a copy right here. And it's something where got it in. And it is wonderful that we both have ours. And in the back, am I on the full screen? Can you see me on the full screen? Okay. So I have my book in the back, and what I'm going to do, you gave me an excellent idea. My book is about self-development in this industry, Newbie 101. And thanks so much. I'm going to take a minute and talk about that. But, and then we're going to bring all of us back on together. Yay, you got my book. And Richard, we got to get you both these things, but we sure appreciate it. Richard keeps us straight and everything. And we're all in different companies, and we're not here to promote our particular own company. We're here to teach universal around the world to anybody that really has some tools. But I was brand new and I made many mistakes. And so, but I stayed in it because it's worth it. So on my chapter 5, and it's about positive affirmations. And to keep going, I was a single mom for 15 years and with 4 kids. I wasn't around family and I did not have financial help. So that's a long time to really get to be independent and know how to pick yourself up, because I wasn't going to teach my kids to fail. I had to make it work. I had to be strong, stand strong and everything. And I tell some snippets about that in my book. But in chapter 5, it's about positive affirmations. So I'm just going to read a tiny bit. But it goes, here's 2 simple rules before you start with your affirmations. And this is so critical. Do not ever say negative comments about yourself or to yourself. That's it. I don't care what you think, what's happened in the past or whatever. Today's your day to stand up and own yourself as incredible. And 2, do not say negative things about anyone else either, as that negativity will fester inside of you continuously, and you'll never get out of that cage that you put in your mind. So it's time to clean the closets in your mind. So to move positively forward in the right direction, you need to take off the chains of blame and doubt, the I can'ts, grumblings, finger pointing, negative gossip, and anything else that you've been storing upstairs. And I've done this. I'm not preaching anything or talking about anything that I did not do myself, and it works. And so how much do you want to have a completely enjoyable, positive, healthy life? Did you know that people are continually dwelling on the negative? And it doesn't matter what age. You could be, in your 30s, you could be in your 90s. I have people that they even grew these negative lines in their face because they couldn't get out of it. And there's health problems that go along with that. I used to have a radio show years ago, and I'd have a health doctor on once in a while because it was positive talk. And they literally said people bring on their own diseases because they're so negative. They don't take care of themselves, and everything comes on. And their immune booster is not working as well as it should. So positive affirmation should be in short sentences, a paragraph. And so I give an idea of a short paragraph, and affirmation should be, I'm living my dreams. I am unstoppable. I am worthy. And you never say try or maybe, because then your subconscious mind says, oh, I don't have to do it. You just told me I only have to try. So this is just a snippet. I have a short paragraph that I use, and it's in the book, and it's just quick. I am excited. I'm strong and beautiful. I'm smart and energetic. I am happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise, and very, very blessed. And thank you, Heavenly Father. It's a fabulous day today. So this book, Newbie 101, you can get it by going to my website, christinecampbell.world. It's going to be, Ron has a website, his MLM Mastery Club, where Richard has classes on there. I have my book and some courses, and we have many others. He's going to be opening this up to the world in just a little bit, but it's worth to just stay on with Night at Night to get these little tips in your support team. Okay, that's what we are here, is support team. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring on Richard and Ron, and let's talk about the things that we were talking about tonight.
One thing that Ron mentioned that is kind of fun with the industry is most of the really top leaders, the real professionals, they don't care what company you're with, if you're with their company or not. Even if you're with your company, they don't care if they benefit from you or not. They just want to help people. Mm-hmm. Okay. I've been doing work for direct sales for probably about 16 years. The years before that was all small to mid-sized businesses, and they don't try to help each other out. They're strict competition. In the direct sales, like Ron said, you make lots of great friends. And they may come and go as far as the companies that you're with, but they still remain good friends. That's how I met Christine and Ron and George and numerous other people that are now good friends of mine that I would never been able to meet outside of the direct sales industry.
I love that. And you're absolutely correct. Are you kidding? Right before I joined in, my husband and he had a brain aneurysm almost 9 years ago. And we had a situation that we needed to bring some money in from an expenditure on our home. And so we thought, gosh, he's going to have to work at Walmart as a door greeter. Because of his age, he's retired. He had a medical retirement with his aneurysm, short-term memory. And so it was right before Christmas. And I sat down, we're going to write a list. I believe in lists. And it was basically, we want to stay home so we could work together. And so we can meet the same friends and make enough so we can go travel, because we have a little farm. And that's just how it is. So what happened was the next day, this is the power of a positive getting it out there. The next day, a 77-year-old friend came by and said, I'd like to show you about a business. And we've never done network marketing before. It was something where she sat down with her son and it made sense. It answered everything I had on this list. And so again, it doesn't matter what company, there's as a backup residual. And it's been 2 years and I'm absolutely in heaven with where I'm at and the friends I'm meeting, just like what you said, Richard. But let's talk just a tiny bit. I don't like to really bring it up because it's like a jinx or something. But when COVID shut all the businesses down, we would have had to stay home and we wouldn't have had our job anyway. And that was just a few months after we found this company. And so, we are so thankful that we had our backup plan.
I agree. The thing about network marketing, a lot of people, they start it because they're either broke, okay, or they want to change their life, right? And this is more Richard's world, right? But the reality is, people have no idea how much money they're giving away by working for somebody else. When you work for yourself, you can write off so much stuff that you would normally spend money on anyway. And so just you get an income bump, a tax-free income bump in your life, and all of a sudden having your time. I don't know how I ever had enough time to work in a job. the things that I do to nowadays, I think I couldn't have done these things when I was working a job. And so when you break away from that corporate world, and it is a shift, it's a mind shift. Okay, there's something I always tell people. They say, what's the difference between a job and network marketing business? And I, or even as an entrepreneur, and I tell people, look, if you want to get paid in a job, okay, you do three things. Okay, number one, you show up. You got to show up, right? Number two, you got to not piss people off. Okay, sorry for the language, but you can't upset people. And number three, sometimes you have to do your job. Okay, you do those three things consistently, and you'll get a paycheck every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, whatever it is, your paycheck. If you want to make money as an entrepreneur, or as a network marketer in this case, you only have to do one thing, and you have to do one thing well. You have to figure out what somebody else needs or wants, and you have to create value so that they go, ooh, I like that. I want that. I will pay you for that. Okay? The thing that's interesting about that is that there's no mention of time. Okay? You could spend 100 hours to support one customer, i.e. when you're starting to learn how this whole thing works, right? Or you could spend 1 hour supporting 100 people, okay? And make the same amount of money. And so it's about learning how to find out what people want. I always tell people there's some wrinkles on the forehead here, right? And you read carefully what those wrinkles say, and it says, "What's in it for me?" What's in it for me? And it means that you always, when you talk to somebody, you always have to look at it from the perspective of why would they want to be talking to you right now? And if you can think about that, and sometimes in the beginning it's practice. You got to think about it ahead of time before you call them up or before you meet them. Think, what would that person really want? After a while, it becomes second nature. You don't even think about it. I'm on this call just like Richard and Christina's. We're just giving. We're giving you things that we think would help you. Okay, and because of that, you come back for more.
You just made an incredible comment that I love, and Richard did too. I'm going to put it together. But the fact is that we're bringing like-minded people together. I thought there's nobody like me. I like to help others. I like to, and Richard mentioned, find your passion. There is a network marketing company for just about anything. Find your passion. And you get around like-minded people. Are you kidding? People that are positive, people that, and there's those that start in and they don't finish, they don't stay in it long enough. And they go, oh, this isn't for me. It wasn't fun. I had my first no or something. And can you imagine these business owners that pay a lot of money for franchises? And I have many friends that have that. And what happens is that they feel the same way. But they have the overhead of a huge business expense. The franchise is probably more than $200,000 because that's just what it is nowadays. And that's a small portion compared to big franchises, but they are responsible for everything in that building, the utilities, the employees, and on and on and on.
COVID.
And the best part about a home-based business is you're responsible for yourself. The initial to get in one, depending on what it is, they're all very reasonable to be in business for yourself. I mean, seriously, compared to hundreds of thousands of dollars in inventory control. And it's something where this really is, and you create your own hours. Now, I do want to mention my husband and I, we've created, I've read so many books in network marketing and I love it, but there's a routine as your business owner. If you've never done it before, you have to start a working hour routine. So my husband, a lot of times he's doing one thing, I'm doing another, and we want to see each other. So we chose to get up at 5 a.m. That's our date. So 5 till 8 o'clock, we're doing our stuff together that we want to do, and includes our regular exercise. That's a huge date, and we love it. It's personal, and it's just education videos or reading together, and it's just turn off the world, and it's all about us. And then from 8 on, it's about everybody else. So thanks. You guys have so much input. Thanks for letting me jump in there.
Hey, it's your show.
Well, I know that. I'm sharing the
No,
where here with you guys.
you know, I think this is great. I think this is great. It's funny as we do these network marketing things for so many years. You pick up so much stuff, and you don't know it all in day one. I mean, your newbie book is a perfect thing. I mean, it's like you can't know everything on day one, but you've got to be persistent and consistent, and have the desire to want to improve yourself, right? And it's really important that you pick the right kinds of sources of information, because there's a lot of junk out there, And so, when you get around people that understand how it works, people that have actually done it, as opposed to people just talk about it, those are the kind of people you want to hang with. So you're in a good group here.
Yeah, we're in a really good group. In fact, we have the newbie, and then yours, I think, is the next one to read after newbie. And Richard, we got to get you to get your book out. Yeah, Beyond the Prize, newbie. How come yours looks like it's normal? Mine looks like it's backwards. Is mine backwards on the screen?
It's just you just have mirror turned on your. You don't have it turned on.
It's not backwards to us.
It's fine. It's good to us.
You're gonna teach me that. He's really good.
But it looks good to us. It's normal coming out. It's just what you're seeing.
Yay! Okay. So Richard, we gotta get a book from you.
Yeah, your turn.
Yeah, I've heard that for the last decade or so. I'm more of an application person than I am a writer.
I did ask you that. That was part of my interview question with you. It's like, when you're going to write a book, what is it going to be about? So
we have a fourth. Yeah, we have George isn't here. He's got his magazine, so that's a must to get that magazine. And there's a whole bunch of subjects under that. So with the four of us, and we're having one more, and he is all about finance. He's a chartered financial analyst. And so we got the best of the best when it comes to staying in the right lane and keep on going. And I'm the cheer queen. So there you go. So what I want to do is ask you guys, it's important once you start receiving through your hard work and effort, it's good to give back. So I encourage everyone to find a charity. We're going through some we're selecting so that we can give back. I think it's important giving back to teach and help others that are in this business that seek our help. But two is to really give back to help charities.
Yep.
So Richard we've been talking about one. Do you want to talk about it, Richard?
Yeah. So, I wish George was able to make it on tonight. Because I love his network marketing magazine. You can go in there and you can search for topics or authors, and that's really great. But he also started several years ago a 501c3 nonprofit called Business for Vets. And his father was a decorated vet in World War II. My dad was in the Navy in World War II and the Air Force in the Korean War. And so we both have a little bit of a passion for our military people. And the example that I use is I have a neighbor here who's in the Army right now driving tanks. Wow. Okay. When he gets out of the service, there's not a huge demand for tank drivers. Okay. So he's well qualified to run these multi-million or billion, however much the tank is. But so what we want to do is give the platforms, your books, the Network Marketing Magazine, this platform here, and help the vets and active military also be able to start their own home-based business.
That's excellent.
Or their spouses if they're active military right now. And so I enjoy working with that, and I hope and look forward to it growing and servicing more people.
Excellent. Every night we have different topics and a different charity every night, just so we can. And so I love it, and we're going to have more on that soon. But we're pretty much at the end here, guys. Do you have any last quotes or comments you want to provide?
I always tell people to keep smiling.
Keep smiling.
You're good at that. Yeah.
I want to expand on a comment that you made, Christine.
Okay.
When you say that you get up at 5, and that's your me time and stuff.
Yeah.
I had a client several years ago tell me this, and I found it to be absolutely true in my case. We can get a lot more done from 5 to 9 in the morning than you can 5 to 9.
Mhm.
Just those quiet, productive hours. And so when you said that, I just kind of had an internal smile going like, yeah, that's true. That's when I'm the most productive. I get more done on a personal scale. And another thing kind of related to that you mentioned is the personal development you get through direct sales. And Ron touched on this, that education and bettering yourself, the discipline that it takes. A lot of people find that maybe direct sales, having home-based business is not for them. They've still been well paid in that personal development side of things. So I'd just like to leave that as a thought.
I'm going to add to that and say this. If you decide to do network marketing and you really go for it, okay, you will change, okay? You will become a much better version of yourself. People will look at you and they'll think, there's something different about you. You it's like you have it all together now. It's like you don't seem to worry about things. You seem to know all these things, and it's like that's the best part of network marketing. Okay, the money isn't even the best part. The best part is who you become. Okay, and what you attract and who you attract into your life. That's the best part.
I absolutely agree with that. And not only that, my husband and I, we're in our 60s, okay? And it is something to where we have projects lasting until we're 105, literally. But part of it is that daily in the morning, you're supposed to be reading something every day to keep your mind going, okay? Education, and good health, exercise, and to that 5 to 8 is our time, and then 9, is the rest of the day of business. But it is something to where we want to last a long time. We want to have the positive attitude. We want to definitely, in fact, the Newbie 101 just sets you up with that. It has the vision boards, everything. Our wall in my office, our office over here is just plastered. And with your book too, Ron, it's just wonderful. Those questions you were asking at the beginning, phenomenal. And it's good to personalize and internalize. So what you do is this is recorded, and we'll have the recording on podcast at 9atnight.com. But go back, you can go back and listen and write this down, these questions that Ron did, or get his book.
And if you want to find out more about the Beyond the Products book, you can just go to beyondtheproducts.com. So
Yeah.
you can even download the intro chapter if you kind of want to see what it's about. But I wrote that book. It was a labor of love, and as I'm sure Christine's was too. We you never really expect to get paid back on the hours you put into a book, but you know that somebody's going to benefit from it, and that's the goal, right? So I've learned a long time ago. You never make the goal of a book to make money,
Right.
but it becomes kind of a calling card, right? It's a business card. So I think books are powerful. Anyway, that's my
Excellent,
last
guys. Well, we're going to say goodbye because we're going to close out here. Thank you so much. Always come back to us. If you have any questions, you would just go to 9atnight.com. We had Richard Bruff and Ron Wilder. This is the Newbie 101, ChristineCampbell.world. And then we have beyondtheproducts.com to do this. And thank you so much, everybody. You're amazing.
Right.
Right.